Get ready for a deep dive into the biggest stories hitting your screens right now. First up, the A24 film The Drama is forcing audiences to confront the darkest corners of the American psyche. Starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, this intense project directed by Christopher Borgli puts the concept of redemption on trial while challenging our societal obsession with school violence.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
But the conversation around The Drama is getting heated for more than just its plot. Critics are now raising major questions about the film's handling of race and casting, specifically regarding how Zendaya's character is perceived by her white co-stars. It has left viewers wondering if the movie is intentionally avoiding the racial subtext of its own narrative. Adding to the debate, industry analysts are pointing out how the film frames its central conflict through a lens that feels distinctly disconnected from the reality of its lead character. Many are questioning whether the script is truly equipped to tackle the psychological weight of a Black woman navigating these complex dynamics, or if it is simply scratching the surface of a much deeper issue. Finally, we are heading to the gritty world of Euphoria, where fans are spiraling over the fate of Priscilla Delgado's character, Angel. After a mysterious drop-off at a sketchy rehab facility by Alamo, theories are running wild about whether she is a victim of a sinister plot or just another casualty of the show's dark reality. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you never miss an update. Can you actually start over? That's the haunting question posed by A24's latest, highly polarizing film, The Drama. If you haven't seen it yet, pause this, go watch it, and sit with the weight of it. Because we need to talk about what happens when the American dream collides head-on with an American nightmare. Now look, I'm a sucker for a redemption arc. Give me Les Mis or a gritty Batman story any day. I love the idea that no one is beyond saving. But The Drama hits different. It strips away the cinematic gloss and forces us to stare at our own reality. As someone who grew up in the era of active shooter drills, where the sound of a popping chip bag in a cafeteria triggers a genuine, cold sweat spike of adrenaline, this film didn't require me to suspend my disbelief. It was just believable, and that is exactly what makes it so terrifying. Director Christopher Borgli isn't just making a movie, he's putting the American psyche on trial. He's pitting our cultural obsession with second chances against the horrific frequency of mass violence. It's an uncomfortable mirror. But here's where I have to step in. Is our society actually mature enough to process this? We've seen it before with Joker or A Clockwork Orange, films that were meant to be warnings but were misinterpreted, turned into aesthetics, or worse, used as blueprints by the wrong people. My biggest gripe isn't the storytelling, it's the casting. Don't get me wrong, Zendaya and Robert Pattinson deliver career-defining performances. But when you put A-list icons, people we've grown up with and idolized, into the roles of would-be school shooters, you risk accidentally putting those dark impulses on a pedestal. It blurs the line between a cautionary tale and a dark, fan-fiction-ready fantasy. Would this have been more impactful with unknown faces? I think so. Using stars, no matter how talented, risks turning a grave cultural critique into just another high-profile project. So here we are. America is on trial, both on screen and in our own neighborhoods. Are we going to use this film to spark a genuine, necessary conversation about the toxicity in our culture? Or are we going to let it become another piece of media that gets misinterpreted and idolized for all the wrong reasons? I want to know what you think. Is it possible to depict this subject matter without risking glorification? Drop a comment below, and let's keep this dialogue going. Because if we aren't willing to face the darkest parts of our culture head-on, we'll never stand a chance at changing them. Ever walked out of a movie feeling like the plot left a massive, elephant-sized hole in the middle of the room? That's exactly how it feels watching The Drama. If you haven't seen it yet, consider this your official spoiler warning. We are diving deep into the twist, and it is a doozy. In the film, Zendaya's character, Emma, drops a bombshell. Years ago, she actually planned a mass shooting. The scene is tense, with wine flowing and friends debating their darkest secrets. But here is the friction point. While the film treats the confession as a shocker, it completely glides over the racial dynamics sitting right there at the table. You have an interracial dynamic with Mike and Rachel, and then there's Emma, a black woman surrounded by white friends, being judged for a thought she never even acted on. While her fiancé, Charlie, played by Robert Pattinson, spirals into self-righteous anger, the movie refuses to let Emma actually explain the context of her pain. It ignores the reality of being a black girl in a space where she was likely an outsider, targeted and isolated. Instead of exploring that layer, the film chooses to keep the camera locked on Charlie's reaction, effectively burying the lead. It feels like the filmmakers are using these heavy social themes as a mere backdrop, leaving the audience to do all the heavy lifting on the drive home. Is a movie really successful if it's too afraid to engage with the very identity politics it sets up? The film seems terrified to be about what it's actually about. I'm curious, do you think movies have a responsibility to address these nuances, or is it okay to leave them as subtext for us to decode? Let me know your take in the comments below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more deep dives. Sometimes, the most important part of a story isn't what's said, but what the film is too scared to admit. Is Zendaya one of the most talented actors of our generation? Absolutely. Whether she's lighting up the screen in Euphoria with that raw, soulful intensity or bringing gravity to major blockbusters, her potential is, frankly, off the charts. But here is the burning question. Why do her movie roles often feel like they're playing catch-up with her actual talent? We're looking at an upcoming slate that includes another Dune, a new Spider-Man, and even a Christopher Nolan project. But then we have the drama. On the surface, the premise is a classic pressure cooker. A couple on the eve of their wedding starts playing a game of worst secrets, and things spiral out of control. It's an interesting setup, right? But once the secret drops, the movie takes a sharp, frustrating turn. Robert Pattinson's character doesn't just react, he spirals. And honestly, it feels like the script is actively avoiding the elephant in the room. This isn't just about a couple arguing. It's about a black woman marrying a white man, and the way her fiancé loses his cool feels inherently racialized. Instead of exploring the psychological depth of that dynamic, the film sidelines Zendaya, turning her into an apologist who has to spend the rest of the movie trying to calm him down. It's a missed opportunity. The film wants the tension of a scandalous reveal, but it's seemingly too afraid to actually unpack what it means to cast a black woman at the center of this specific, messy narrative. It plays games with the audience while completely ignoring the cultural weight of its own casting. Zendaya is more than capable of handling complex, layered material that tackles these realities head-on. She deserves roles that don't just use her, but actually challenge her. If Hollywood wants to keep giving us the drama, it needs to stop being so afraid of its own subtext. What do you think? Is Zendaya being typecast into roles that fail to live up to her range? Drop a comment below and let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the films that get people talking. Ever feel like a character on Euphoria is just too good to be true, or maybe too vulnerable to survive? If you've been watching season 3, you know exactly who I'm talking about, Angel. When Priscilla Delgado stepped into the spotlight as the chaotic, captivating dancer at the Silver Slippers, she didn't just join the cast, she stole the show. But now, she's gone, tucked away in a place that feels less like a rehabilitation center and more like a scene from a horror movie. So, what actually happened to Angel? Let's break down the dark theories that are tearing the fandom apart. Everything spiraled when Rue revealed the heartbreaking fate of Tish, Angel's best friend. That grief sent Angel into a tailspin, and Alamo, the shady club owner pulling the strings, wasn't having it. He packed her off to Hope Springs rehab, but let's be real. This place is a red flag factory. It's middle of nowhere, no paperwork, and the staff looks like they haven't cared about a patient in a decade. Fans are losing their minds over the clues. Some think Alamo is just protecting his investment, using the facility to break Angel until she's compliant again. Others are diving into much darker territory, fearing that Alamo is using the center as a front for human trafficking or even organ harvesting, especially given that mysterious ambulance arrival and the shadowy figures watching from across the street. Is Angel truly at a rehab center, or did Rue just deliver a friend to her demise? Rue promised she'd come back for her, And given their history, we know Rue doesn't let go easily. But in the world of Euphoria, promises are often just precursors to tragedy. Do you think Angel is going to make it out alive? Or is her story destined to end in the same dark place as Tish? Drop a comment below and let me know your theory. And if you're as hooked on the mystery as I am, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest Euphoria breakdowns. After all, in this show, the most dangerous thing you can do is hope for a happy ending.